You look great.
It's so lame how scared I am, to be honest, but here we go.
I know, it's gonna be great. It's gonna go great. Yeah.
Great, great, great.
They're gonna be so appreciative of your help.
Okay.
There is one going on now. If you want to wait till the next one, that could be equally as helpful, just so we can like spread our staffing. But there, if you want to join now, please feel free. But there is one happening right now. Anya, Laura, and I are going.
The next one will probably be better.
Yes, I don't know when yours is, Mr. Sam. I know I'm next.
I guess I'm gonna let everybody in. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, there, unmuted. I don't understand why my camera's not on.
I'm in the same position.
Look
I'm
in the
Linda.
bottom left-hand corner and you have to activate your camera if you haven't done that.
Left-hand corner, start video. Is
Yes.
that
Mhm.
Okay, and I'm not Wendy Baylor, I'm Joni Epstein, but just go with it.
There we go.
there? There.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. So good to see you
Hi.
all. It's been so
Hello.
long.
Come here. You want to see my friends? Say hi.
I think we have a few more who will be joining us.
I have to go to my meeting and you're going to go home. Okay. Oh, no, we're not going to touch that. These are all my friends I'm going to work with today on my meeting. Bye-bye. You're going to sit there, leave the phone alone. That's a real phone. Okay, go see Daddy. Yeah, you can say.
All right. I'm just admitting a few more people. And we can get started.
Oh, don't touch that, you'll ruin me. Okay, say bye-bye. Say bye to everybody.
Sawyer, when do you start school?
I don't start school. I decided to take a gap year this year because it was going to be all online. So
Yeah,
I'm going to do fun things like this instead.
Yes, wonderful. I'm so glad you're going to be with us. That's great.
Okay, admit.
How's Kristen doing? Anybody know?
She's doing good. Baby's really cute.
Yeah?
Yeah. She'll be back soon. All right. It looks like just about everybody that we were expecting is here. So thank you so much for taking an hour or so out of your day to learn and help us explore these new virtual options to help our students. My name is Anya. I'm going to be leading today's meeting. There's a couple other TLC staff members all throughout to help us out too, and I see some familiar faces, so again, thank you. And just an FYI, we are going to be recording the meeting. I'm not sure if it's okay with you, if you want to turn your video off is kind of what I'm saying, if you don't want your face to be seen on the recording, but I would love to see all of your faces, so however you feel comfortable though is great. So to get started, I'm just going to share, I've made a little bit of it's just kind of a rough overview. We're all in this kind of together, and please feel free to just play around with Zoom while we're in here. Come up with any questions. We'll start, you can use the chat box, which I'll get to in a little bit, and just feel free to kind of make this an open situation instead of me just blabbing at you the whole time. So that being said, present. All right, so we are in our virtual tutoring strategies. Everybody can see my screen, I hope. I'm sharing my screen in Zoom, okay. So to get started, just a little agenda. Welcome back, I kind of already covered this. So happy to see the familiar faces. It's been so long since we've seen you. I'm just excited to get started. We're gonna go over some expectations and guidelines, like what you can expect and what the students are gonna be getting and their expectations and that kind of thing. A little Zoom 101, Google Classroom, which is a feature we're going to be using to give you our virtual lessons. A little overview of kind of what the hour will look like. Some student engagement, motivation, management, kind of those brain breaks, the fun stuff. And then kind of what you can expect from us as the volunteer support. As always, you know, TLC staff will be with you every step of the way, even virtually. And then obviously we will open it up to questions and answers, but if something's like really relevant to what I'm talking about, feel free to just pop in and say, can you explain that again, or can we go over that? And we're gonna make, this is the first training, this is the first time we're doing this, so really like you're the guinea pigs and your ideas are what's gonna build this training for the future and everything, so it's gonna be great. So that being said, to get started, if we all see the chat box, could you write 2 words to describe how you are feeling about Zoom tutoring? So we are just going to get comfortable with that. Chat, where's my chat box? I can't even see it. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Does everybody see the chat?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
Do we click on it?
Yes, so it's going to be a flashing.
I don't have it. I just have the gallery of everybody.
Oh, come on.
Okay. See, this is the best part. We're going to be doing it all together. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. So
Screen. Yeah.
Okay,
How do
yeah, I
you
had to
post it?
shrink. Okay, so you just
touch the
Post it.
chat.
it's this chat box here, or you have to go to more.
Easier to just use the chat box, I think. If you're, says somebody who Zooms at least once a day.
How do you post it once you've typed it? How do you make
I
it?
think just hit enter.
And it'll go.
Oh,
It keeps disappearing. Sorry.
That's
It just
okay.
goes away. As soon as I touch it, the screen of gallery comes back on.
Let's-
And
That's
Debbie
okay.
and other tutors, we definitely know that today there'll be things that we can't conquer during this time. So just make a note of that, and one of us will follow with you guys individually, because all of our devices are different and it displays differently. So make notes, and we are ready to follow up and troubleshoot and get answers.
Let me try it again. Still.
And real quick, I think
Okay.
there's some people still in the waiting room who have joined a little later, if you can let them in.
So I have to everyone still learning, but how do I get it to I tried doing return. It's not doing it.
There it is.
There it is. We
Oh,
got
there
it. Okay.
Oh, it says from me. I was looking for my name.
So
All right. Thank you so much for that. We're just playing around with the feature, so feel free to keep playing around as we go, and you can click through the chat. And then I'm going to launch a poll too, just for everybody really quickly. On a scale of 1 to 3, how comfortable do you feel tutoring via Zoom? Just take a few minutes to respond there. All right. Looks like everybody, I think, has just about replied. So, all right, it looks like a good majority of us land somewhere in the middle. I feel somewhat comfortable, which is great. So we will get going, and then we'll re-poll at the end to see if anybody changes their opinion. So I will take that away. So like I said, we're going to go over the guidelines and expectations first. A lot of text, but basically this is just kind of, and you all received this in an email from Carissa as well, or if you haven't, you will. And so it's just kind of an overview. Something to note here that we'll go over is volunteers will need to have a Google account to access our Google Classroom. So like at a Gmail, we'll go over that in a little bit. Obviously, we'll be hosting all of the Zoom meetings, so no need to plan those or do anything there. Just kind of the same guidelines, appropriately dressed, appropriate, all of that. Nothing too new there. And then it's pretty much the same for our students. We ask that they will be in a quiet workplace with minimal distractions for our sessions. We'll handle all communication. That's kind of an overview of what to expect. Carissa or Laura, do you have anything else to add here about expectations or guidelines?
I think the biggest things I would point out is, as in the past, we will handle all of the scheduling. As Anya said, and the way it's kind of gonna look is we'll send you this Zoom link and host multiple pairs at the same time. We're gonna play more with what that will look like, but just know, again, we're going to handle all the scheduling. And on the same end, we still ask that you let us know if you're unable to make it, because we will still try to find a sub for your student via Zoom that week. So those are kind of the two big things that are the same but stand out that you need to know.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so and then this is what what the session will look like. So for the first 15 minutes, and we're playing with this still. So, but for the first 15 minutes, we're going to be here to support you. We'll go over kind of what the hour will look like. You can ask any kind of questions after you see the lesson plan, and then the next 10 minutes will be all of us together. So you, your tutor student, Joe and his tutor student, Debbie and her tutor student, and all of that. So we'll be all together, and we're going to go over like the overarching ideas and kind of the takeaways we want to get from the lessons, like a comprehension strategy, the word work strategy, that kind of a thing. And then you will break out into breakout rooms, which we'll practice in a little bit. And we will be assigning like a warm-up writing prompt. Most of our tutor lessons, we try to start with some getting to know you activities, or just kind of like questions or would you rathers, and we can work on vocabulary and writing. I always have a student have a notebook so they can write it there. They can type in the chat box. It's kind of up to you what you're thinking. Word work, we're working with Buffy from Teton County School District. She is coming up with some ideas for virtual word work, but kind of if we remember last year, the Words Their Way, we're going to try to figure out how to get some sorting done through this virtual piece. And then the last 20 minutes we'll be reading, working on that comprehension strategy. For example, like if the comprehension strategy for the day is inferences, then there'll be a piece, like a little piece about working and how to find them, and then reading, and then asking the questions. So that is kind of the rough overview of what we expect the hour to look like starting next week. I'm pretty excited. So does anybody have any questions before I move into Zoom 101? We feeling good?
Anya?
Yes.
I mean, are these kids going to be at home for this, or are they being supervised then if they're home, I would think by probably their parent or?
They will be not here, but yes, parents are like, they'll be either, like I've had some working in their parents' offices, working at home, but for the most part, behaviorally, I've had really great success. Even in their home or without a parent around. So that is definitely something we will troubleshoot if you feel that your student is distracted or not in a great location, but we are stressing in our information to parents that they should be in a quiet place for this session. And there's always the mute button, which I'm just kidding. Okay, so Zoom 101, joining a meeting. We all did super swell. We're all here. You got the link from Carissa. I don't even probably need to go into depth. That will be the same thing. You'll get an email from your tutor coach with the link, and you'll just be able to join. It will be a recurring meeting, so the link will be the same, and all of that. So I know that there was already a question about this. So this is how you mute and unmute. This is good to go over too, like with your student if you need to, but when there's the red slash through it, it means that you are muted and your video is not on. And when there's nothing, that means we can see you, we can hear you, and all of that. So then, oops, Zoom settings. This is, I just have some, okay, I have some videos that I made on my computer and I recorded my screen, and I've been working really hard for this meeting to have it not be blurry, but it might just look a little bit like your glasses are not on. And like you kind of like, it's a little blurry, but I think the gist you will all understand. But so here I made this video to go through Zoom settings. And if you want, like, feel free while we're in this meeting to just click through the settings and see if you have any questions or if something comes up. Feel free, but this quick clip is just kind of, oops. Let's see. Everybody could see this? We're good to go. So you click on your settings and then everything will show up. So this is general. You can just kind of look through these. The video is pretty important. Mirror my video, touch up my appearance. If you didn't know that was a feature, that's a fun one. And then like to turn on the gallery view, you can just click there, display up to 49 participants. And then just keep clicking through, and it'll just give you like, here's, you can test your mic and your speaker. Does anybody have any questions on how to get to your settings, or are we comfortable with that?
Good.
Good, great, okay. So then I will stop this video. I'll go back. So that is just something to think about. You can click through that. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about breakout rooms, which is how you will be
Quick question on the
working.
settings.
Oh, sure.
I'm on an iPad, but I don't have all those choices. I just have ons offs for about 6 items. You're assuming that I'm on a PC or a Mac?
Yes. So
Okay.
that is settings on a Mac or a PC. I'm sorry that
Got it.
I haven't really like looked into the view of what it looks like on an iPad or a phone, but that's a very good point because a lot of our students will probably be using a phone or an iPad. So something to think about for sure. Thank you so much, Scott. So then we'll break you out into breakout rooms with your student. We are in charge of that, and we can practice that in just a minute after we talk about some things. But in your breakout room, you'll have screen sharing, just like me, how I'm screen sharing. We all are going to be capable of doing that in our breakout room, so you can share things with your student. And then we'll be inviting you to join. It's really great and handy when you're in there. There's this little button that's ask for help. And so that's like if you need your tutor coach in there to help with something or whatever, we will be popping in and out of each room. But if you're like, oh, I need them right now, that will give us a notification and we'll know to pop right into Joni and her students' room. So sharing your screen is how a lot of our lessons will go when you're with your student. There will be certain things you need to share with them. I don't know why this video is not playing. Well, that's supposed to be a video, but I have some other options besides the video. I don't know why it's not working.
With
And
the
that's
arrow
that.
at the bottom. There's an arrow right down there
Yeah,
to
I think you have to.
see that arrow in your bottom left when you click on the screen.
Oh,
I don't see it.
Oh.
I have a share screen arrow right in the bottom in the middle.
Yeah, we all have the share screen, which is good. So I am sharing my screen right now. So, but this is, so when you're in your breakout room, you can click on the share screen button. Everybody sees the green share screen button. And then you can select one of these options. So there's going to be a few options. There's the whiteboard, which is, we'll definitely be using those. That's a great way to work with your student. And then you can share like your Google Chrome or the PowerPoint or whatever you're kind of trying to share. Everything will be ready for you. So there's no need to come up with things to share, but just as an example. So right now I'm sharing my Google Chrome with you all to show you this, this PowerPoint. And then just be sure to select, there's like these arrows. Hold on, I'm gonna stop touching the mouse for a second. And you want it like in case, sometimes we might have a video or something, just when you're going to share, you can share your computer sound and then optimize screen sharing for video clips. There's a bunch of little check marks to click. So that's just, you know, you can click them if we're going to be sharing a video or something. So whiteboard, we'll go to share screen again. This is the whiteboard feature. And then from here, you can enter text. Like if you're doing a word work or something, or you want to type something that your student is saying, this is a good way for it to be interactive because they can also type and annotate and stamp and draw and do all of these things. So that's a good option just to kind of keep it interactive, and you can
Anya,
work
can I
with
make
that.
Can I make
Of
one
course.
suggestion for people who, you know, haven't used this a lot is because we can't share our screen since you're driving right now, everybody can't practice. So
Mhm.
maybe if you could do like a sample, something on the whiteboard, you know, some samples before
Oh,
people
sure.
have to do it real time, and
Yeah.
then they can practice with someone in their house.
Yeah. Oh, Scott's got the annotation figured out. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to share the whiteboard screen. So this is my whiteboard. Does everybody see how you can annotate or add or type on here? So
I
go
just
ahead
have
and practice. Mhm.
I have a totally blank screen. There's absolutely nothing on it.
Okay, that's because I'm sharing the whiteboard. Do you see how I typed here?
Oh.
But you have, let's see, I'll go back to my, yeah, Scott's got it. Everybody should be able to see, I'll go back really quick. Sorry, now I'm confusing everybody. But you, if you see this, it says like text, stamp, etc. in the whiteboard, then you will be able to add to
How do you get that? I'm clicking on the whiteboard and it's not coming up.
So you can try, sometimes at the top of your screen, it'll say you're viewing Teton Literacy Center screen view options.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
click the view options and then you'll have an annotate option and it will bring that menu up.
Annotate. There it is.
Try it now.
Annotate.
Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Oh, I like the hearts. I don't know how to do that.
Stamping. It's stamped.
Stamps are not on an iPad.
Yeah, I'm on an iPad, so I don't have any of that. I mean, I don't have a capability to type. I don't know why.
All right.
There's what culture will like right there is a fishing fly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good drawing.
All right. Perfect. So, we are going to get more practice in right now. I'm going to break us out into, I'm going to stop our whiteboard. Thank you everybody for playing around. I am going to break us out into some breakout groups, and in that breakout group, you can practice some things that I am hoping that will help you while you're in there. If you, as you're in your little group, there should be about 4 or 5 members per group. Practice your screen sharing, take turns, or however you want to do it. Everybody should have the capability to do that. You can practice the whiteboard like we just did. You can practice the chat feature. And of course, look for that ask for help button. And then you'll know I can click in as the host and we can work on that. So I'm going to break us out into our breakout rooms. Before I do, does anybody have any questions? No? All right, here we go. So it's something's gonna pop up and you should just click join.
Hey, Joe.
All right.
Hi, Joni. Oh.
Mary?
Hi, great.
All right. So go ahead and whoever wants to start, you can start practicing all the features. Whoever you want to have assigned to like start, go ahead and do that. I'm just assigning some people to their rooms right now. All right. Call me if you need anything. I'm going to join another room. Thanks.
So Laura, I still don't have a
Alright.
keyboard on my iPad to type anything.
Yeah.
Hi. Let's practice sharing your screen next, Debbie, and then if you have the text feature, you can also just use probably the mouse to you might just have to use the pencil and handwrite. So
Okay.
let's see. All right, Mariam, will you stop sharing your screen?
An internet screen as well as the whiteboard. So we've got
Okay, so
the
Okay.
what do you guys see from me? I clicked the whiteboard. Can you see that?
Mhm.
I've got your whiteboard, but I don't have the ability to create a whiteboard. What am I missing?
Scott, are you able to see the share screen on the
Not
iPad?
on an iPad, no. No.
Okay.
Host is currently in this.
Yeah.
Does anybody not see view options?
View options, where is that?
Mine Well, is it's up-
gone because I already have
Oh.
all the annotation.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you already have the bar up, it's
So if
not
you-
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you click the X, then you'll get it back.
Yeah.
Okay. So if
Chat box. And please feel free if you have any questions, I am an open book right now.
I just need to know, someone, Sawyer has her share screen open. Does she close her share screen before someone else can open the share screen, or how does that work?
Or am I-
Yes, I believe so. Yep. So you can't like overpower the share screen.
Okay.
But does everyone feel good about where that feature is? And then also additionally from that window that opens up when you click on that green arrow, how to get onto the whiteboard?
And everybody see the,
Oh, got it. Okay, okay.
and then also notice at the bottom, there's the ask for help button. That's not normally there when you're in a regular Zoom call, but it is in the breakout room.
Yeah.
Great. Yep.
You erase what you've done.
So on that annotation bar, there should be an erase, like an eraser function.
Mine is good. My bar is gone.
Mhm.
Go to view options.
Because Mary stopped sharing her screen, so I think we're all
Yeah.
back to our
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
breakout
back
room.
where we were.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah. Anya,
So
do
we
we have a
have
few
been
more
able
minutes
to write on the screen.
There it
Just
is.
How
shared
about like,
mine.
it'll give like a 1 minute warning, but keep playing around, no rush. I'd say take just a few more moments playing around.
Okay.
Groomed in
I
your
don't know,
breakout
what's
room.
the capacity? We're never gonna have a big group because I don't know what the capacity is for a breakout room.
Yes, we won't ever have, I think the
So
biggest we might have is like 1 tutor and 2 students.
That's
But I think the capacity is around like 25 or 30.
Okay.
50
It might also
breakout
depend
rooms,
too on your,
200 people.
Please
Ask for
speak on the
help.
left.
I'm here.
Uh-oh,
Nice job,
There we
Scott.
go.
I'm here.
didn't mean to.
Oh, that's okay. It's simple. All you have to do is ask for help and then we'll be able to pop right in.
Sure, yeah.
So I can just share. Do my
Few more minutes just to let you know.
So now you see, if you hover your cursor at the top of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
do you see view options?
Yeah, and then you can annotate.
Just to make sure that they are understood. You can teach them how to do that, and that's like a fun little way for them to stay engaged. One more thing we should go over while we're here is if you see mine has more and 3 dots on the bottom bar with all the functions on it. Does anybody not see where it says more on the bottom?
See what?
I think
Anya,
more
I'm
comes with the leader.
getting to the ask for help button. Oh, I just made mine full screen and it went away. So there's just an ask for help button on the bottom. And when you ask for help, that calls the host into the room, and the host of the Zoom group will be your tutor coach for the day. So if you press on that ask for help button,
Here,
that
I'll
basically
leave.
gives us
you can always just say, okay, let's go back and check in with Anya, and you can ask for help or leave the room.
I'm back because you asked for help. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
And it gives the host an option. It just alerts us that you need help. And what we'll probably do is we'll probably finish up whoever we're with at the moment, and then we'll know that you are asking for help. And so it might be like a minute or two before we come into the meeting, but that's like on our to-do list to get over into your breakout room with your student to help you once you press that button.
I left my breakout room. I don't know what happened to it. It's gone. We weren't done.
I lost mine too.
Oh, yes.
I think Anya drove us back.
Yes, I ended the breakout rooms and then it pulled you out. And it should give you like 60 seconds. And so whatever you're finishing up, it didn't give you 60 seconds?
It did.
Okay.
On my
Okay.
screen.
Probably.
Because you don't, if you're like in the middle of something with your student and I say leave the breakout room, which I don't know if that probably won't happen during the session, but you should have about 60 seconds to finish up or whatever, and then it'll take you out after 60 seconds. So if you want to like finish up, I don't know if that feature will be used so much. But back to, does that feel good to everybody? Just kind of a little bit of practice is always good. And feel free, if you have any questions, we can go over those in a little bit. But I just wanted to move into kind of how we are going to run and how you will get your lesson plans and all of that. So we are going to use Google Classroom. And if you have experience with Google Classroom, that's great. It's pretty simple. I'm going to move on. Like I said, we would just ask that you have a Gmail account. It's the best way to be able to access all of the materials. And I think it might be the only way. I've been looking for a loophole, but that seems to be the case. So if you don't have a Gmail, we just ask that you create one and that you get that to your tutor coach. So once that all is orchestrated and you know who your tutor coach is and they reach out or however it works, or give it to Carissa, I'm not sure exactly, but just make sure you get it to Teton Literacy. But I already saw that lots of us already have Gmail accounts, so that is perfect.
And Anya, can I also clarify 2 things about that? Let us know if you need help in adjusting your email account. Additionally, if you're like Teton Literacy, it's not Gmail, obviously, at the end of our email address, but we are a Google account, you know, managed by Google. So many times your work account or potentially another account might actually be a Google account without being gmail.com. So just let us know if you have any questions about that.
All right, so we will send you an invite link to the Gmail account or the Google account, however you can access the classroom. I've been told from people who've worked on this in the past, if you haven't gotten one, but your tutor coach says that they have sent you one, check your spam. Apparently some of these invites can go to the spam, so just keep that in mind when you're waiting for the invitation. So once you get the invitation, I have a quick clip. Again, pardon the blurriness, been working on it, don't know what that's about, but quick clip just of what it will look like when you open your email. Oops, I don't know, this is the wrong one, that's okay. So this is what it'll look like with your lesson plan, I think, actually. So this is that. So you open your email, click on it, Tutoring at TLC, and then simply you just have to click join. And then you'll be added to the class. That's where you'll access your classwork and all of that. And then to go more in depth, this is what you will also get an email when a lesson plan has been uploaded. So this is what that will look like. So you open it, your week 1 lesson plan is there, click open, and everything should be there for you. Your tutor coach should have it all added. So this is what the lesson plan will look like. We've added some text suggestions and features over here. This is more in depth too. I haven't updated this. And then so like it says here, writing prompts is the Go Fish Icebreaker handout. That's right here. That should be linked by your tutor coach. You'll have that. You could share the screen, share this with your student, talk through those. And then down here, and it'll say attached main idea activity. That will be attached there. And there it is. So once you kind of click through, and tutor coaches should have this added for you at least a day before. So then you can come over here to the private comments, and that will send an email to your tutor coach. I have a question about the main idea worksheet or something, and post it. That will be the best way. Since we don't have the fun tutor lesson folders anymore to write our feedback and stuff, you can just type your feedback. We didn't get to the comprehension activity. So that over here in the private comments is where you can do that. The class comments, I think, will be viewable by all. So if you want to just send something to your tutor coach, send it in the private comments, but these class comments will be viewable by everybody. So just something to note. Does anybody have any questions about accessing Google Classroom? You can type it in the chat box too, so that we can just save some time, but that is kind of a swift overview. And obviously when we have you assigned and you're working with your tutor coach, we're starting off small. So your tutor coach will be there to kind of, this is just kind of an overview and kind of what to expect. Your tutor coach will be there with you to help you access and all of that and kind of be more in depth. We'll be offering some office hours in the afternoons on our tutor day. So just don't worry if that kind of went over your head, because we will be going over this in a lot more in depth. So this is virtual literacy instruction, and I just have an example of a resource we're going to use, which is epic.com. This is, again, like, you'll get an email and you have to join, and I'll go over that in a moment. But like I said, we're working on some word work activities, so stay tuned for that kind of stuff. We are also, like, we're opening up with those writing prompts and things, but this is just a little look into kind of how we can access some books online. So bear with me if it's blurry yet again, but so you will get a or invite from your tutor coach. Sign up for after school. Create an account. And then your name or your student's name will pop up here. So click on your student, and then you have access to a lot of books. We might not be using Epic as much, but for our first few lessons, I would expect that this will be the resource we use. We're diving in deep to kind of figure out some other options for how to access books, but you can go to the search, you can search for rainbows. Then you can, like, if your student's like, I really like rainbows, you can do that, or basketball, then some basketball books will show up. So this is just a really great feature, and you can check your email for how to join and all of that. So just check your email and then go to sign up for after school, create a password. And then your student's name will show up. Click on that, and then you're in. And to share these books, you would share your screen like we practiced a little bit ago. This is a video of me using Epic with a small group. I mean, it just kind of goes over, it's the same, you want to do the same thing that you normally do during your tutoring session, introduce the book, make predictions. I don't know if I'm sharing my sound with you, now I am. My soup, but then the summary says, sometimes it's almost impossible to get your big sister to read your favorite book to you. What do you think this might be about? Any predictions you might have?
Oh, I
Yes, Annie?
know. Your sister to make your favorite soup.
Oh, so you think that maybe I'm gonna write. Do you see our chat window? So I'm gonna write. Also note Kelly is painting. Sometimes that happens. I like that. Anybody else have a prediction they want to share about just looking at the cover or thinking about the title and then what it says about his sister? Any guesses there? Ryan, are you unmuting yourself? Unmute. What do you think might happen in this story, Ryan?
Probably, they're going to meet.
Him and his sister or the tiger? So I type it in the chat box so we can like revisit it. That's kind of a fun thing to do. And sometimes thank you. And Kelly, do you have a prediction you want to make?
No.
Okay. Ryan, can you read this? So this is what it will look like when you're sharing your screen. They'll see this too. It says, will you read my book to me?
Will you read my book to me? I ask again. It's about tigers. Big, hungry tigers. My sister doesn't answer I try something else.
All right. Anyway, so we
Aces
keep
quiz?
reading, and then sometimes in Epic
Yeah.
there's
Were
a
we all
quiz.
paying
You can
good
do all
attention?
that.
Yeah, I always do
Right.
them.
So that is what do you think an in-depth look of what it will look like if you're kind of like, huh, how is this gonna look or whatever. The students, I have to say from my experience the past couple of months, the students are very into it and they really like it. And just reading with them is really fun, and just spending this time with them, it's just it's just really fun, as you could tell. It's pretty silly, except it will just be you and your student one-on-one, but that is just a little look into how it will look when we are doing our actual lesson. So bag of tricks, we want to talk about some student engagement. Oh, am I still sharing my screen? And motivation. So I want to point to our website. So we have added a bunch of resources to our website. So this is our brain breaks, all sorts of fun activities you could do easily during your session, like texting time, which we all love. I feel like a lot of us used to start our tutoring sessions with like texting on the whiteboard and whatever. There's just a bunch of games. So to get here, you go to our website and then resources, virtual volunteer tutor resources, and there's a bunch of stuff for you. Like there's a Zoom 101, like if you want to refresh how to share your screen, etc. Some Google 101, so like how to create a Gmail account if that's where you're starting. How to, here I guess I could click on it. How to access Google Classroom, what it will look like. All of that handy stuff as a refresher, and we'll be posting these videos on there too. But then there's also some tutoring curriculum, like reading comprehension. You can go here. Here's some online libraries, like we just did Epic. That's how you can do that. Some ideas for fluency, some comprehension ideas. So definitely dive into our webpage. There's a lot of good ideas. I just wanted to point out these brain breaks as kind of a back pocket. Keep your eyes peeled for the newsletter. There's some fun activities and games that are coming your way in the volunteer newsletter this week. And just kind of things like in case your student's just looking at you like they don't know, there are some fun activities you can do. So definitely check those out. Does anybody have any questions about activities or the website?
Where do you find the brain breaks again?
Okay, so
Under the resources?
Yes, so I will just start and I'll just go to www.tetonliteracy.org, and it'll bring you to our webpage. You can go to resources. Under here it'll say virtual volunteer resources, and then click on virtual tutoring curriculum, reading comprehension, word work, and then you can click on the brain breaks.
Thank you.
So definitely play around with the website and come up with any questions you might have. You can send those our way anytime and we will answer them to Carissa or myself or your tutor coach, all of that. So go ahead and do that. And then I just want to touch on how we will be supporting you, because like we said, you are not in this alone. We don't expect anybody to be Zoom experts or virtual, virtual tutoring experts or anything like that. I am still learning. We are all still learning. So that's why it's kind of fun, because we're all in it together. But we will be offering weekly office hours. I do believe those will be 2 o'clock to about 3:15 on your tutor day. So if you need to reach out to your tutor coach and run through, hey, I'm really struggling with motivation, and then we can teach you some fun Zoom games like one-on-one, whatever you might need, we will be there for you. We are offering increased trainings and workshops. So like, for example, we offered this for all of you and we're really excited. We wanted to make sure we did offer these trainings before we started tutoring next week. And then we'll get all of our matching going and stuff like that. Like I just went over, we have our new volunteer resource page we're going to be updating that. Sam has been great. He is the one who made that look so beautiful and got all those activities going for us. And then, like I said as well, check that volunteer newsletter. That's going to be a really crucial point of communication too, for like, if everybody's kind of interested in learning about how to share your screen, if people are struggling with that, then you can expect in the newsletter that we will be sure to put a little article and a blurb in there. So just keep checking that, and for kind of overviews and some fun resources we'll be adding there. So we still have, okay, great. I would like to open up for questions if anybody has any questions. I'm sorry, I haven't checked the chat. Oh, Laura already responded. That is great.
But Anya, Sue had one question I couldn't answer in the chat.
Yes.
Regarding, will the students be expected to access Google Classroom, and what is the child's role in Epic or Google Classroom?
I don't think that the students will be accessing Google Classroom or Epic. So we will be orchestrating all of that, and the tutors will be as well. So that's kind of where I stand. If we feel that we should change that, then easily I can look into that. But I'm just having it be tutor led.
Great. I think that was my assumption too. I just didn't want to misspeak there. And I think that's a great point, Anya. We can adapt. Many of the students we'll be working with are utilizing Google Classroom this fall with their teachers. They have done so in the spring. So they are pretty savvy with some of these features, so we could easily pull them into it. So let's start with the tutors kind of leading with the screen sharing, and we can make adjustments if we need to. Other questions?
I have another question. When we go over to the Epic books and I'm assuming that we're looking at the books and choosing them with our student, or are there already going to be in our folders 2 or 3 choices, and then the student gets to choose 2 or 3 of those, kind of like they did with the little books in the box?
I think you can expect our staff to assign books or give you a couple of choices. I do think you can play around and explore, like if you know, a lot of times in our actual sessions, we have tutor read alouds at the end where you might get to read to them. You can play and look for a book together that they might like for stuff like that, or for a kind of special treat day. But for the most part, we will still assign you reading material with some choice for the student.
Great.
The other feature Epic has is you can star favorite books. And so just like Chris was saying, if there is a book that they really want to read and they keep seeing it when it flashes up, maybe favorite that one, and we can build that into the lesson plan as kind of a reward down the road.
I have a question. Will we have an opportunity to practice Epic a little bit? Like, I wanted to figure out how to turn the pages and all, or how to advance it. Will we have a chance to interact with that before we're trying to work with a student?
We haven't totally dove into all of these pieces, but at this point, I would expect for Epic, much like your invitation to Google Classroom, Epic, all of that to come once you have been assigned a tutoring student and a tutoring day, then your tutor coach will invite you to all of those pieces. We are absolutely happy. I think if you want to play with some of this stuff in advance, to go ahead and work with you and get your account set up. So we can go ahead and do that too.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not a real techie person.
And then that's also a great thing to go to your tutor coach's office hours for, when we have that hour and 15 minutes there. Like, you could say, I really want to practice Epic. Can we read a book together or something?
Oh,
then you'll have some live time. Yeah, some live feedback there too. Yeah. Yeah. Good to know. And yeah. All right. Any other questions?
I have a question, Anya.
Uh-huh.
Is this what the kids are doing in school?
So
the
right now,
same
the
sort?
elementary school kids are going physically. They had an option to do physical or virtual. The physical is a hybrid model right now. So they go to school Monday and through Thursday, and then they're virtual on Friday. That's for elementary school kids. And then middle and high school kids are also in a hybrid model but they go either Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. So they're in different cohorts, and then Friday is virtual. So they are using a lot of these components. You know, we worked with the school district to kind of prioritize what areas we should focus on our lesson plan, as well as what tools we should use. We also worked with the University of Wyoming's Literacy Research Center and Clinic, who have moved to a fully online model this summer as well. So we've been trying to kind of pick people's brains who've already done this and figure out which tools to use. But in short, yes, the kids are using some of this. Mary, anything to add to that on?
I was going to say, Joe, don't be worried, because the kids will be able to tell us what to do if we have a question.
That was part of it, Mary. But the other thing was to try to clearly from our end to be complementary to whatever they're doing, rather than trying to reinvent a new way to do the thing that they're doing. So.
Yeah, a lot of even in the spring when we had the shutdown, a lot of the children were in Zoom classes with their teachers. So I think you'll be surprised. Whenever I have a question, I ask a kid.
Now,
That's
Mary,
yeah.
Mary, you've addressed what they do 3 days of the week, 2 days in person and one cohort and 1 day virtual. What do they do the other two?
I'm at the high school, and our students, when the 2 days that they're face-to-face, they're obviously with the teacher, then they work off of assignments on the other 2 off days. And then virtual, we're still developing. So, you know, we're working on things where there'll be office time or extra help time with teachers. It's a work in progress, but they've got plenty of work to do. You know, the kids that are home, we have a system called Canvas that the teachers post assignments on, and they're on there completing those assignments. Now we'll be starting to add some time on Fridays where the students can check in with their teachers, work in groups, sort of like you're talking about with the children, you know, the breakout groups that we did. Students can use those groups to work on projects. So it's still evolving, Scott, is definitely the case, but we're all learning day by day.
Thanks, Mary.
Yeah.
Debbie, you had a question?
Quickly, before we continue with questions, I do want to point out that we are nearing the end of our hour technically. And I know some of us are working or whatever. And if you want to stay and hang out, that is great. And I'll hang around and keep answering some questions. I do want to run, I have that post poll that I want to run just to get some feedback really quick. And then if people have to start kind of filtering out, or if you want to keep listening to questions, that's great too. But really quick, I just want to get this feedback on the poll, if that is okay. And then we'll go back to that. Launch polling. So on a scale of 1 to 3, how comfortable do you feel tutoring via Zoom now? And in what area would you like more resources and training? Sorry, pardon my typo. So go ahead and click on here however you're feeling after the training.
And since you can only click where you would like more resources and training, please feel free to touch base either in the chat. You can follow up via email with me and let us know all the areas you need help with.
I do have to actually run, but I just have one question on timing follow-up. So when would we be expecting to get, you know, emails? Are you thinking early next week and then we're gonna get assignments, or what is that looking like?
That's a great question. It is a work in progress. Part of you guys are kind of our first group really diving into this. We wanted to play with this training, see what questions came up, make sure we have a group that feels comfortable moving forward. I have started the matching process, and that will just happen on an ongoing basis as we have students whose schedules align, who we think will be a good fit. So that is where we are at. It won't necessarily come next week, but as soon as I have someone who I think will be a good student for you, I will reach out, but please feel free to reach out with any questions. In the meantime, we will try to get some of this stuff like Epic out so you can start playing with it and working on that. Does that answer your question, Maureen?
It absolutely does. Thank you.
Yes.
So Epic, if I wanted to look at it like right now and kind of play with it, do I form an account there, or I wait till you guys invite us to get an account?
You can wait. We will invite you. I think we can maybe just invite everyone who participated in this training will be a good start. And you will get an email from us like you've been invited to this group class. We may have to switch it, however, once you get on a tutoring day, because it might be a different class. It's the issue, which could cause some confusion there. So.
Just a quick question for a Google account for Gmail. A long time ago, I had a Gmail account. I haven't used it forever. Did they just delete you at a certain point if I, to start over?
I don't think so. I think you should still have access to your account if you can recover it.
Or if I remember it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what yeah.
You'll have a lot of junk mail in it.
Oh boy.
My question was when if we wanted to contact our coach, that hour that you say is available before our student. Last year, I think Michael had about at least four other students. So will he be having all the tutors of all those students at that hour, or do we have him one-on-one, or is he going to be reacting to all the different people that might be chiming in for him, whoever it is?
He will have all the students. We are breaking tutoring days apart by reading level this year. So all the other students in your group will be roughly at the same time, but there might be roughly 10 other pairs meeting.
No, I meant the hour before we actually get our student. You said from 2 to 3:15 on the day of your tutoring, you can get hold of your coach in case you have questions prior to the, and I was just wondering if he's going to be addressing all the different tutors that same hour, that like the 10 kids, that would be that reading level, those tutors.
So so I don't think that we've really thought through the exact structure of how those office hours will look. But my vision of it is that I'll just have a Zoom meeting, or you can call me or email me, and then we'll set it up. It might be I don't know, it would be more beneficial if we all kind of powwow together, and then we all have if we have the same questions, it makes it easier, or if if you have to, if we do 15-minute chunks. So that's something that we'll work through, but we'll definitely let you know once we have that a little bit worked out on our team, what we're expecting for that.
Okay.
Thanks, Debbie. Sorry.
And you can always set something up with your tutor coach outside of those office hours as well.
Okay, and the other, I guess this is something I should ask my coach, but if the student is very animated and can't sit down for very long, and they, I had to do a lot of theater stuff and drama stuff, and then what happens there? Is that into the student motivation? Is that?
Yeah, so a lot of built-in movement breaks, some Simon Says, jumping jacks. We will definitely make sure that we put some stuff in the lesson as a guide. Check the webpage, check the newsletter tomorrow. There's some fun games, but we'll definitely make sure that you're feeling equipped with everything you need, including those entertaining parts as well.
Yes. Okay.
And Debbie, that is also why we shortened the time frame to 45 minutes as opposed to an hour. We felt like that did allow for more focused attention via Zoom. So
okay, that sounds good.
Will it be possible, you said, to try and practice with someone once we are invited into Google Classroom and into Epic and we've got our things, So could I like set up a Zoom meeting with a member of my family and say, here, can I go through this with you? And here's a pretend structure, whatever, and do that? Or do we need to practice with one of our other tutor people?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I think, Sue, you're welcome to practice with a family member, or we could also, I mean, I think tutor coaches are also willing to do that. Once we get the ball rolling too, and we have some pairs going, it might be an option for you to observe and, you know, drop into another session and observe that. So I think we have some flexibility there on what that looks like. Maybe once we have your match, you can talk with your tutor coach and kind of see what is most comfortable to you.
I thought it was extremely helpful for me to see the little video clip of the group lesson that that you all had, and sort of see that, because the only Zoom things I have done have been with no goals in mind. It's all been just talking with people or whatever. I haven't had a structured meeting that we were supposed to try and get through all the information on. So that video clip for me was really, really helpful.
Okay, that's a great point.
That's good to know.
And thank you for that feedback, Sue, because we could also work on providing more clips like that. You know, we ran a lot of sessions in the spring and the summer, and we could easily pull out some clips. Granted, our sessions were with, you know, 3 or so kids at a time, but it still gives you actual idea of what it looks like. So we can work on that.
So Scott had a good question on the chat. He said, is 45 minutes for older kids? Can we go longer? There's no way to do that, is there? Because you have another group that'll be coming in. Or can you go longer on this, keep our kid longer?
I do think my experience with the upper middle and high school students is that they have been able to appropriately engage for an hour. I definitely think we can explore that option for those students. The other piece on that, Joni, is because we're breaking them apart into groups by level, really all of our older students are going to end up being in the same group. So I do think we have that option to maybe kind of shorten some of that time that we're all spending together and extend out the one-on-one time with the students. And I do think it's appropriate for them to be with us for an hour. I think they can engage there.
And you mentioned that the lesson will be ready the day before. Will we know kind of like a time, instead of having to keep going on to check if it's on, if there's like at a certain time, we know it will be there?
We can talk about that within our team and see. You will get an email. Remember, you'll get an email from Google Classroom that says the lesson is there. So you don't necessarily have to check in Google Classroom to see if it's uploaded. But we can talk within our team and see if there is a time that we can get that going. Likely, Debbie, it might take us a while to kind of get in the groove of what that might feel like as we are starting to make matches. But that's a great question.
Okay.
All right, are we any more questions or clarifications needed? I so appreciate your willingness to take this on with us. It's awesome. So thank you so much. Sue, you had a question?
Yeah, of course. Okay, generally, I did not take any of my tutor time to fill out any of my personal observations or notes unless my student was doing fantastically, and then I was sure to write it down and say, look what I'm writing down, you know, you're just doing such a great job with this. And then the other things that I observed or felt needed to be addressed or whatever, I did that after the session was finished. Is there, I saw that the sheet that you gave us a glimpse of looked like there was a space on the side for comments for us to do some typing or things in there. Will there be time for us after our student time is finished for us to fill that out, or do we fill that out as we go?
So you can access Google Classroom anytime. So you can do it right away after your session. You can do it during, after, however, before, however you want to do it, and we'll get access to those comments. So it just depends on when it works for you, but you can access those comments anytime. Google Classroom is not through, like, once the Zoom meeting ends, Google Classroom will still be accessible.
Oh,
Does
good.
that answer
I
your
didn't know that.
questions? Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Google
Okay.
Classroom
I
is
thought
a different
everything.
feature than Zoom. Yeah.
Okay,
But
great.
still be on-
Great.
Will it still be on the screen, or we'll have to go back into it? Once the Zoom session ends, we'll have to go back into it our own, or will it
Thanks,
still be on
Karen.
the screen for us?
You'll have to go back into it. But you can access it. Yeah, your Google Classroom will have that lesson plan, and you can make those comments, those private comments as well. But you will have to access your Google Classroom after the Zoom session. And likely what you're going to find in your session is that you have Zoom open and you also have your Google Classroom open, and that's where you're looking at your lesson plan. So you'll most likely have two tabs open to kind of go back and forth and looking at those.
So we won't go full screen. We'll keep.
Yeah, you might go in and out of the screen shares. And that is one important thing to note about the screen share is it shows the snapshot of your screen. So if you change to a different tab or a different browser, it's not going to change with you. So you have to stop sharing your screen and then reshare. And tutor coaches can show you that when we get down the road there.
Now that's like a real rabbit
worry
hole,
about that.
but yeah. So I would just say you don't have any homework, but just kind of play around with Zoom if you want, get comfortable with that. And then it all seems like we're pretty comfortable and confident. We've all been Zooming for like 6 months now. And then just keep checking your emails, create a Gmail account or a way to access a Google Classroom or Google Suite. If you don't have one, get that to Chris. Is that okay if they send it to you? Is that
way I've got this set up? Once you are matched, you will receive an email from your tutor coach with all the details you need specific to your day. And I would request that you actually send that information directly to your tutor coach in response to that email.
Thank you. So send your Google account once you get matched. And that's about all I can think of as a follow-up of things to check on.
Some of the follow-ups on
prior.
our plate is we will work on the Epic accounts and communicate that out to this group. There was also a question about the video of this training. And once we get that downloaded, we can also email that out to this group.
Perfect.
Super quick question. My schedule has changed a little bit and I have a lot more flexibility since I filled out the application form. How would you like me to communicate that with you?
You can just email it to me, Sawyer. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Feel free to reach out with any questions to me, Anya at tetonliteracy.org. I can change things around in the trainings, whatever. Feedback is always great. So thank you so much for coming. We'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
Thank you.
Good luck with it all.
Yes, good to see you. Yes. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, boy.